Hey there, craft lovers. Have you noticed something amazing happening? Epoxy resin is everywhere. People are using it to make the coolest things. From shiny coasters to beautiful jewelry, epoxy resin is taking the crafting world by storm. And you know what? I'm completely obsessed. It's like magic in a bottle. Remember when we used to say, "Don't cry over spilled milk"? Well, with epoxy resin, you'll be saying, "Don't cry over spilled creativity." It's true, this stuff is so versatile and fun to work with. Are you ready to unleash your inner artist? Let's dive into the wonderful world of epoxy resin. So what exactly is epoxy resin and why is it so popular? Great questions. Epoxy resin is a liquid that hardens into a strong, shiny plastic. It's like magic. It's also super durable and water resistant. This makes it perfect for creating long-lasting, beautiful pieces. But the real magic happens when you mix the resin with a hardener. This starts a chemical reaction that transforms the liquid into a solid. And the best part, you can add colors, glitters, and other fun things to make your creations truly unique. Okay, are you ready for this? Get prepared to be amazed by the endless possibilities of epoxy resin. You can make almost anything with this stuff. Seriously. Let's start with the basics, coasters. They're easy to make and a great way to get comfortable with epoxy resin, but don't stop there. You can create stunning jewelry, keychains, and even beautiful trays and cutting boards. And if you're feeling extra adventurous, why not try your hand at resin art? The possibilities are as limitless as your imagination. Ready to get your hands dirty? Let's make some coasters. This is a super simple project that's perfect for beginners. First things first, let's gather our supplies. You'll need epoxy resin and hardener, silicone molds in coaster shapes, measuring cups and mixing sticks, gloves and a mask. Safety first. And of course, your favorite colors and glitters if you want to add a little extra flair. Now, let's find a well-ventilated area and cover your work surface with a drop cloth or plastic sheeting. Epoxy can be a little messy, but that's part of the fun, right? Time to mix our magic potion. Carefully follow the instructions on your epoxy resin kit. Usually, you'll mix equal parts of resin and hardener. Stir slowly and gently to avoid creating bubbles. Now for the fun part, slowly pour the mixed epoxy into your coaster molds. You can add drops of color or sprinkles of glitter for a personalized touch. If any bubbles appear, you can use a heat gun or a straw to gently blow them away. Once you're happy with your creations, it's time to let them cure. Cover your coasters and let them sit undisturbed for at least 24 hours. Patience is key here, folks. The epoxy needs time to harden completely. Starting a new craft can be a little intimidating, but don't worry, here are a few tips to make your epoxy resin journey a smashing success. Start small and simple. Coasters are a great way to get the hang of working with epoxy. Measure carefully. Using the correct ratio of resin to hardener is crucial for a successful project. Avoid direct sunlight and extreme temperatures while your epoxy is curing. Don't be afraid to experiment. That's how you discover new techniques and create unique pieces. Most importantly, have fun and let your creativity flow. Epoxy resin is all about experimenting and seeing what amazing things you can create. Before we get too carried away with all the fun, let's talk about safety. Epoxy resin is generally safe to use, but it's important to take precautions. Always wear gloves and a mask when working with epoxy and make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. Safety first, creativity second. One of the things I love most about epoxy resin is its versatility. You can add so many different things to create unique effects. Want to add a pop of color? Use alcohol inks or resin dyes, feeling sparkly. Go wild with glitters, mica powders, or even tiny holographic flakes. You can even embed dried flowers, leaves, or other small objects to create one-of-a-kind pieces. Even experienced crafters encounter a hiccup now and then. Don't worry if your epoxy doesn't turn out perfectly the first time. Bubbles, try using a heat gun or a straw to gently remove them. Sticky surface, your epoxy might not be fully cured. Give it more time or try applying a thin layer of clear sealant. Remember, every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow. For me, working with epoxy resin is more than just a hobby. It's a way to relax, de-stress, and tap into my creative side. It's about transforming ordinary objects into something beautiful and unique. So what are you waiting for? Grab your supplies, put on your creative cap, and let the magic of epoxy resin unleash your inner artist. You never know